This is my contribution to the real talk, though, alright? Since the real news be banning me, they banned me from attending these events, alright? But the real news knew about this since 2014. I handed this information over to the owner of the real news, alright? Members of the real news been knowing about this, alright? It's about real talk, and you want a real talk about the mayor and the powers of the mayor? We're going to talk about the corruption in the office of the mayor, the play-to-play politics, the plantation politics, because it's plantations here in Maryland. That's what it is, plantation politics. All right. I already got my tickets. All right. It's for April 16th. All right. I already got my tickets. It's 27 is going, 90 is interested. I be getting 100 hits on my live feed, so I get more people to watch my live feeds than attend your events. It's the power of the matrix. I can't attend all the events, but I can contribute to the conversation. And this is how I'm going to contribute to this conversation. All right. Y'all the devil is in the details, and y'all in the paperwork. Leaders of a beautiful struggle. Y'all claim to be leaders of a beautiful struggle, and y'all claim to be in the forefront of the fight. Well, let's talk about mass incarceration and racism in the courts. Y'all talk about us, but don't talk to us. So we're going to give you some real talk to really talk about. All right. You go directly to Antonio Hayes. All right. You go directly to Antonio Hayes, Senator Antonio Hayes, and you get this book. All right. Champion for Justice. It's called I Am Dred Scott. We're going from the back to the front. All right. Because blacks have no rights in which white people respect. Baltimore is a slave town, a slave catching. It's a slave port. Lexington Market. That's where you imported us. And the Underground Railroad runs up Falls Road. Like I said, go directly to Antonio Hayes, because we're going to have a real conversation about the politics in the mayor's office. It's making a movie about y'all and your politics in the mayor's office. That's my movie release. That's Rob Fiks. You can Google him. To whom it may concern. Fiks Enterprise. That's me. I had to reshoot the footage that y'all stole from me in 2010. I had to reshoot everything that you took from me. That's Mayor Pugh. So like I said, we're talking about real talk. We're going to really talk about this. Mayor Pugh had this since 2018. So you can get it from Mayor Pugh. So we had this real talk and this real conversation. Go to Robert Hart in the Department of Justice. Had it since 2018. And it was about the politics. It was about your mayor's office. It was about Governor O'Malley when he was Mayor O'Malley. When he invented stop and frisk and zero tolerance. This illegal war on drugs. It was about Mayor O'Malley and his prison industry that he created. With Jim Smith, the Baltimore County executive. Then Kamenetz. Now you got Orlesky. Like I said, I've been following Maryland politics for a long time. And I'm going to break the Democratic Party down. When Mayor O'Malley was Mayor O'Malley, before he became Governor O'Malley, when he created his mom machine, when he created his plantation politics, you know what I'm saying? The play-to-play politics, and which got Mayor Pugh in hot water now. Mosby been protecting Governor O'Malley, Mayor Stephanie Rawlins Blake. She been protecting the party, all right? Because she been had this since she was running for office in 2014. I gave her the corruption tree. I gave her the names, the dates, and I showed her the money. But she won't go after that. She's shielding the corruption by denying people access to the grand jury. You feel me? Like I said, she had it since 2014. Ask her to produce this mail and ask her to produce this material. That's jury commissioner, because I asked to speak to the grand jury. I want to testify in front of the grand jury in Baltimore County. All right? I want to testify in front of the grand jury so we can have a real talk about the mayor's office. All right? So we can have a real talk about the mayor's office. February 2019, Assistant Department of Justice, Johnny Orlesky. I am writing you this reference to Duane Shorty Davis. I have met Mr. Davis on several times over the past year. He's expressed his concerns about a number of issues that could fall under your purview I'm requesting that you and your staff take another look at his case and see if it is or may warrant additional attention. I committed to Mr. Davis that I would at least request an assistance, understanding that much of this concern he raises are outside the scope of my preview as Baltimore County Executive. Thank you for your time and consideration with this situation. Johnny Orleski. That's 2009. All right. This is 2017. That's 2 years ago I asked to speak to the grand jury. That's Judge Bennett, 2018, because Judge Bennett got a request for the grand jury as well. Judge Bennett oversaw the case in Baltimore Gun Task Force. That's Judge Turnbull. Had it since 2000, all right? Since 2013. That's Greg Bernstein, because Greg Bernstein been shielding it too. Like I said, Governor O'Malley created the mob machine, and part of the mob machine is his courts. That's how he controls the corruption. 2013. State's Attorney Nearham. Because this case covers Illinois and Maryland. Covers 2 states. And that's Mayor Stephanie Rawlins Blake. Now, y'all see me doing Stephanie Rawlins Blake the same way that I did Mayor Pugh. And I'm going to do the mayors the same way because y'all had evidence and knowledge of criminal behavior in Baltimore City's government. Y'all participated in the fraud. Now, you talk about book deals. Well, Mayor Stephanie Rawlins Blake got deals too. She's getting paid now on the back end of her corruption. She's getting rewarded for her bad behavior. That's Scott Schellenberger. That's your weakest link. See that? 2013. If you take Scott Schellenberger in front of the grand jury, you'll see that he lied to the grand jury. He presented false evidence to the grand jury. And he's been trying to get me incarcerated for the last 10 years. Well, if I can go to jail for a toilet, Schellenberger can go to jail for corruption and racism. This letter is all about Scott Schellenberger. This letter is all about Scott Schellenberger and the courts in Baltimore County. Judge Turnbull, Judge Previs, Judge Holland. You feel me? It's about Bobby Zirkin. It's about John Cardens. Y'all seen Chief Johnson. Y'all know Chief Johnson. That's why I chased him out of City Hall a couple years ago. I got them all on film. I got Bobby Zirkin on film. I got Chief Johnson on film. I got Governor O'Malley on film. I got Mayor Pugh on film. I got Mayor Stephanie Rawlins Blake on film. I got Jane Miller on film. I got Kelly Swoops on film. Only one I ain't got on film is Judge Cox. And Judge Cox has the writ of certiorari for me to approach the Supreme Court. If y'all don't address this issue in the grand jury, to have the federal government and the Department of Justice investigate, and they don't come up with an answer, my other option is the Supreme Court. He signed for it, and he's holding it in his possession. Governor Hogan, too. Because like I said, city, county, state, and federal levels. Governor Hogan done had this since 2016. I done wrote him 3 letters. So I don't want nobody to have no misunderstandings about any of this, what's going on. We're going to have a real talk and a real conversation about racism and plantation politics in the mayor's office. Grand jury or Supreme Court. All right. I will be at the legislative meeting at 6 p.m. County Board to discuss my written submission earlier this month. Checks and balances for a reason. You're a legislative branch. Your judicial branch violated the Maryland law, federal law, criminally and civilly. Scott Schellenberger used the powers of his office for personal and political reasons. All right? You have a moral and ethical obligation to represent us. You know what I'm saying? You represent the people. Like I said, I'm putting the courts on notice. This is a motion for a public hearing in the courts. All right? This is United States Supreme Court, April of 2007. That's my Storm Falls Road, Davis versus Illinois. Under Article 3 of the Constitution, the jurisdiction extends only to considerations on cases controversious properly brought before the court from lower courts in accordance with the federal. All right. So I'm going to file these papers with the lower courts so the federal courts and the Supreme Court can get this case. You kidnapped me to keep the prison industry alive, to protect the corruption in the courts. February 2009, Duane Davis, you kidnapped me from my residency. Motion for public hearing. This letter confirms that Marcella Holloman received your letter. All right, it said I had to go through Frank Conway's office and have people served with subpoenas and shit like that. I did all that. I served out 52 subpoenas. Doug Gansler refused to honor the subpoenas because it would be a public embarrassment to the Democratic Party. I named the people in the subpoenas. I gave you 52. Mayor Pugh was part of the 52. You feel me? Mayor Pugh was part of the 52. Like right here, it said right here. So I followed the orders of the court. You feel me? It says right there to properly serve the individuals. To properly serve those individuals. So I properly served those individuals. District Court of Maryland. Like I say, when I name your names, I can call you out. Baltimore County. Motion to squash the subpoena and motion for protective order. All right. Witnesses. Governor O'Malley. Former Governor Ehrlich. You feel me? Controller. Francott. Sheriff Fisher. It said, civil located. Your material are enclosed. You feel me? And that material had these people involved. Karen Parks, Paul Weinblatt, Scott Schellenberger. I properly served these people with subpoenas. I properly, see? Senator Pugh, Senator Broshini. I properly served these people with subpoenas. And you filed a motion to squash the subpoenas. Doug Gansler is a Democrat, all right? And it was exposing the Democratic Party. So he used his office of the Attorney General to shield the corruption in the Democratic Party. Y'all going after Pugh? Y'all need to go after the whole party. It's 52 of y'all. Justice requires that the subpoenas be squashed to protect the above names in the state officials from any annoyance or embarrassment. All right? The annoyance and the embarrassment is the corruption and the racism. Like I said, you going after Pugh? Like I said, the judge said right here. March 2009, Larry Lezzer, CNN, Ed Norris. All right? You're going to love this story when it unfolds in front of you. You feel me? I was telling you what I was going to do to you. Caught on tape. No more secrets. No more lies. Get the DVDs from Waller. He can't destroy evidence. I got 100 tapes. John Cardens. All right? You're shielding the corruption and you're using your powers of office to shield the corruption and the racism. You already know about all this. You had this information, but you're not acting on any of it. And this shows you how long you done had it. March 2009. This is 2019. I had to have Johnny Orlesky ask for this. This is 10 years later. 10 years later, now the federal government is looking. And now they're going to be looking at more than just Mayor Pugh. They're going to be looking at Ed Norris. They're going to be looking at Richard Hyde. They're going to be looking at Bobby Zirkin. You feel me? They're going to be looking at everybody on this paper. They're going to be looking at the Maryland Black Caucus. Subject, Delegate John Cardens. You feel me? Larry Lezzer, CNN. The Maryland Black Caucus. Tony Bridges. You see that? Tony Bridges. Bobby Zirkin. Teller Branch. Duane Davis, 14 Lochner. Dear Judge Bridges, I am respectfully requesting permission from your courts to travel to Washington, D.C. to visit the Department of Justice and the FBI and the Judiciary Committee. So now we're asking again. That's March 9th, 2009. That's February 2019. 10 years later, I'm still asking for the Department of Justice to come there and investigate you. You feel me? Karen Levy, Mr. Grant, Judge Rossetti. You feel me? All right. Adam May had this. Okay? So if we're going to have a real talk, let's have a real conversation. Let's bring this real conversation to fruition. And we're going to bring this material there too. Kiefer Mitchell, Al Retmer. It's my third letter to Governor Hogan. All right? We're going to keep everybody in the loop on this. Judge Bennett. So consider this my contribution to the conversation. The power of the mayor? Yeah. Let's finish this conversation on April the 16th, because I'm going to be in the room.